Hey there, I was wrong. I was wrong about my disappointment about the rumors I heard about the Nikon Z6 III. I'll explain to you why I say that. Before that, Merry Christmas if you're watching this on the eve of Christmas or on Christmas Day. Welcome to another episode of Frames Team, and today I'm going to discuss why I think Nikon has got a solid plan and I think they know what they're doing. Okay, my disappointment with the rumors of the Z6 III was primarily a reaction towards the megapixel count on the Z6 III. Potentially, if it turns out to be a 24.5 or 24 megapixel camera. Somewhere I think I own an A7 III for the last 2 years. I got it since it was launched, and I got the A7 III before I got the Z8 or the XT5. Both of them are 40 plus megapixel cameras. Well, one is 40, the other one is 40 plus. Basically, I like croppability in post. That's my main motivation for wanting a little bit more megapixels. That's all. But then I remembered how my experience is and has been first with the Z6 II and then now with the ZF. In short, the ZF experience has been awesome. A kind of image quality, the kind of clean files I get. If I get that out of any other camera, I'm going to love that. Plus, I want something else on top of the ZF can give me in terms of image quality and the ergonomic style that the ZF can give me. That's where I think things open up, and I have a few points to share with you. Essentially, imagine all the capabilities that you have on the ZF. Excellent low light performance, amazing image quality, almost no grain even at 6400 ISO. The colors are deep and beautiful. I'm pretty sure that the color depth on the ZF is actually better than the Z6 II. I think the color depth is going to be equal to the Z9 or Z8. That's my experience of actually editing the files from the ZF. Now, I want that. I want this. I want possibly even cleaner files if that's possible. But I want this now sensor to be a bit faster. I don't know how to crank up the speed of how Nikon can actually crank up the speed of this processor, or maybe use a different one. But yes, let's give us this beautiful image quality out of a 24-25 megapixel camera, and then give us much higher speed on that sensor. Why do I say that? Because then at that point, if you have higher faster sensor, same resolution, but if you have a faster sensor where the read speed is much better, the first benefit is that the autofocus is going to be even better than what is there on the ZF. And what we are now hearing is a tweaked version of the XP7 processor. About a couple of months back, I know Vagan did a video where he talked about him meeting someone who said that, the Z6 is going to come up with a tweaked XP7 processor. There's a high chance that that guy knew what he was talking about, because you're hearing similar things from Nikon rumors now. So if this is a tweaked and surely improved XP7 processor applied on a faster 24 megapixel sensor, where the processor doesn't have to crunch through so much data as these processors had to on a Z8 and Z9 sensor, because this 46 megapixel sensors. Here you're going to handle only 24 megapixels. So faster sensor, more focusing points. This is going to have more than 300 focusing points. I think the focusing points numbers of focusing points on the ZF and the Z6 III or Z6 II are actually much lower. I think 200 something focusing points, possibly to 279. So faster autofocus because more focusing points and faster readout. That's one benefit. I'd like that. Second, the fact that it's going to be a faster sensor means for the first time you're going to have a camera in the Nikon system. You're going to have a camera that can potentially do 4K 120 uncropped and no pixel binning and any of that sort of jugglery. Pure, clean output 4K 120p. I think that's incredibly valuable. Okay, the camera is likely to be slightly bigger, I think, to handle the heat, because you're going to do 4K 120 and then 6K 30. I welcome both. That is important because right now On the Sony, even on the Sony system, that job is done by the A7S4. Whether it's from Panasonic or Sony or Canon, look at any other camera brand, no one has 4K 120 at this price point, and that is tremendously significant. 4K 120 opens up a lot more credible possibilities that 4K 60 doesn't, especially 4K 60 with a crop doesn't. Panasonic has A7 Mark A7 II. Sony has the A7 IV. Both of those cameras do not have 4K 120. In fact, they have 4K 60 with a crop. The R6 Mark II has 4K 60, almost full frame, but then it is only 4K 60. It's not 4K 120. Sony has that other vlog version of the A7 IV camera, but then that's not a full-featured camera with a viewfinder and other things. So it's a bit of a compromise, and that camera has a lot of other quirks as well. Okay, so I think if you look at that, $2,500 US, these kind of capabilities, it's a beautiful combination of abilities, and I'd like that. Also, I would like best in class color and dynamic range, and I think you're going to get that if you have a fast sensor that also takes the help of a mechanical shutter. I think you're going to have that deep color and very good dynamic range. Also, let's not forget there is a chance that you're going to get a very high burst shooting speed because it's 24 megapixel, slightly faster sensor, maybe 40 frames per second like the R6 Mark II. I don't know, but still a possibility. Definitely more than 15 frames per second with mechanical shutter. And lastly, slightly larger body will allow the camera to house the much better IBIS of the ZF and probably optimize its performance, and therefore you're going to get an even better performance. I think for the first time we are likely to see IBIS on the Z6 III that matches or beats even Panasonic S5 Mark IIs. And with these 3-4 things, fascinating shutters, fascinating autofocus, tremendous video capability, and even better IBIS, along with very good heat management, great dynamic range, color, fantastic ergonomics, deeper buffer, and high shoot speed, as in burst speed. I think this is going to be the ultimate entry hybrid camera. I say that because we have heard that the Sony A7 V is not going to come out anytime soon. So there's a year to go without a Sony A7 V. There's more than a year to go without the next Canon R6 something Mark III in sight. Panasonic S5 Mark II, again, not anytime soon. So for about a year and a half, I think this camera will not have any competition. And at that point, it is not the 24 megapixel that's going to stop people from adopting the Z6 III. And it is going to be the most exciting camera in that price bracket, not because just the megapixel, it is because of how well-rounded this camera is going to become if Nikon follows the path of a slightly mid-range megapixel but tremendously fast autofocusing and very capable fast sensor readout camera. That's my realization, and I think my disappointment was a little bit misplaced. I think the benchmark should be what really works for that market and what that customer, what that market needs. If I'm looking for a $2,500 camera right now from Nikon, I want to have some of the best video capabilities, IBIS and autofocus. I really want that. Okay, and I know that my Z8 has fantastic autofocus, but the files at higher ISO are not as clean. So I would like to have a camera that has autofocus that matches Z8 or even better, because now we have had time. And plus it's a very fast sensor without so much information to read from it. It's 24 megapixel versus 46. So the processor will have less data to manage and therefore possibly even better autofocus. Like I said, I would like to have a camera which is as good in autofocus as the Z8, as sturdy and well built and as well as a Z8, but has much cleaner images and much better IBs. Let me tell you, the ZF IBs is actually better than Z8. I haven't done a test to show you, but it clearly is much better. That I know from my experience of shooting it almost every day. I'm going to see you soon with another video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you're like find yourself coming back to the channel, I mean, subscribe, help me reach 5,000. You see, I'm somewhere 4,300 or so. I want to reach 5,000 soon, possibly in the next 1 week if you help me. So let me know what your thoughts are on this, because I think I'm wrapping my head around the rumors, and if it is true, I'm finding myself being excited about the possibility of this camera, and I'm not feeling disappointed. I think, and I know, let me tell you, a lot of people, when I said that, I wanted it to be slightly higher megapixel camera, there's a lot of people who actually said that yes, they'd like this to be a high megapixel, slightly higher, 30 something megapixel camera. But I think there are more than one ways to success, and this could be a potential way to get there. Okay, if you are someone who's absolutely photocentric, let me tell you, if you haven't tried the ZF, you have to see the file quality out of the ZF. It is remarkable. It's remarkable. What I'm expecting is even better files out of the Z6 III. Even cleaner, higher ISO performance, even better, and even better ISO. I'm repeating myself. I'm going to see you soon with another video soon. Merry Christmas.